Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our monthly Ascension Angel Messages for the month of November 2024. So, as we start, I'd just like to thank everyone who is returning and joining us once again, for this monthly series, and to also welcome anyone who might be new to our Angelic Wisdom community. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you're subscribed, select the all notification bell, and like, dislike, and of course leave your comments. If you'd like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. That link and the other links that I will mention will be in the description area beneath this video. If, as of now, I will be doing readings on primarily Saturday afternoon and on possibly Friday evening. So just be aware that when you write me about a reading or send in your payment, and we correspond thereafter about it. Also, if you could also be aware that maybe for the next week, I'll still be recovering my voice, and so probably within a week or so, I'll be able to schedule readings for those times. Now, if you'd like to donate to my channel in support of it, you can also use my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom LLC. So let's now take a look at the format. And the card in the center will represent the archangel that we're working with in this month. And then the cards on either side are messages from your guardian angel. And the card on the left is from the Major Arcana, highlighting what is the major theme, lessons, or influences of energy that we might see collectively and also personally in our lives. Just know that those always are connected. And then, of course, the card on the right is from the Minor Arcana, and it will reveal what we might be working with in our day-to-day awareness in terms of that Major Arcana card and ways to work with it and offer guidance. So let's go ahead now and take a deep breath together. Just tuning in to the frequency of the month of November for 2024. So I'm just seeing a tree, and I would say the trunk of the tree is a moderate size in terms of width, which is also great. But I'm seeing ego, and I'm seeing the bark in the center of the trunk. So it almost feels like our abdomen, area. So maybe covering the sacral, navel, and solar plexus chakras, just a feeling I have about it. And so seeing the word ego, and so, and then the angel number 62, which is a number about not worrying, but in having faith. Let's see what it says. It says, keep believing that the details of your life are working out in miraculous ways. Your faith opens the door for miracles. So it feels like, with the bark and the trunk of the tree and its wood sort of been exposed here. And this usually represents our connection to source. So there is something that is going to make us all really vulnerable at this time. Um, your your truth, your spiritual connections and protections might seem exposed and might come in doubt for you. And this is a sign that it feels like I'm saying ego again, like it's a really contentious sort of battle with our egos. And this is not just personally, but it's also collectively. What we have to realize is that the way things look or appear in the outer world, our perception of the outer world and our reality is very different from what's going on within you and the purpose and the reasons for these things that we're all experiencing. It's interesting right now, I hear my ears kind of opened up and I hear this beautiful ringing, almost like a very, but it's sort of like this bell I have, although it's a little lower. And the pitch I'm hearing is it's that pitch. And it just feels that there's a sensation in my ears, there's sort of a little bit of relief as I heard it, very peaceful, as I was talking about this contention and what's really going on within us. And it felt like a tone of alignment. And because it was with the ears, it was almost as if the truth will come forward at the right time, at the appointed time. So no matter how much your ego is pushing back and, maybe causing you to doubt yourself and the directions and the choices that you've made, just know that the truth will come out. And they're writing the word language. And I feel like they want us to pay attention to language, the way we use it and the way we interpret it. They're writing the word express. But I hope I don't forget that word express. But there's something about this language, the way we use it, the way we interpret it. And I feel like there's something about language on a deeper level. You hear things, but you sense or feel or see things differently than way that people present them. Or if they try to intimidate you in a certain way, to see a certain thing a certain way. Just because you might feel exposed, your inner truth, your source might feel exposed and vulnerable and create a lot of doubt, doesn't mean that you've lost or that you should give up. Continue expressing yourself in this passionate way. Keep expressing the energy, which is what a word I saw a few moments ago. Keep expressing the energy that's resonating within you. No matter how much it feels like you're being worn down, like that tree. But there's something beautiful underneath that for you to be revealed. And maybe it's time that we sort of relinquish, the aspects of us that we're trying to conceal only because we think that we don't want them to be harmed or contaminated. We especially in our spiritual lives, we try so much to keep ourselves safe while we try to do the light work. Just know that at the core of your being, it expresses itself as light and is light and expresses that light outwardly. The more that you express that light from an authentic place, from your truth, you are inevitably and actually protected. It's the giving our attention to our ego and our fears that makes us vulnerable to contaminants. I'm just using that in a very energetic way, or negativity. But this is the time to not let your thoughts interplay with ideas of being influenced by negativity or being contaminated. It's time for you to bring the light and to shine it in a way that's so bright that no contaminant or negativity can stand to be in its presence or can even possibly thrive, because it needs shadows, right? And as long as you're not holding any in secret or allowing certain beliefs to create a space for it to hide within, a crack to hide within, then you don't need to worry about protecting yourself, because the very thing that you need to be, the very thing that you need to express is the protection. Being your true self is your only spiritual protection in life. Best way ever to say it for now. All right, so let's take a look at the archangel that we'll be working with in this month. And it's Archangel Joules. And Archangel Joules is the archangel of the oceans and waters. And he works with Archangel Roquiel. They're sort of like spiritual angelic complements. And Archangel Roquiel works with the your sort of the earth star chakra, or works at that deeper level of the foundations of our spirituality, anchoring things in. And Archangel Joules works with him in that way. And it's interesting because it just gives us a sense of, he's holding that shell, excuse me. And there's that, sort of that light that's emanating from that shell that, for me is about listening right to our intuition, and the waters of emotion. And so it gives us a sense that this could be an emotionally vulnerable month for us, but it's also a time for us to really listen to those emotions, transmuting them into light. No matter what we're feeling, expressing, you're not trying to avoid any of your emotions, but being present with them and shining light, bringing truth into them, awareness, appreciation. Because we're all where we need to be right now. And whatever you're going through, it's like the journey is taking you through a process to gather. It's almost like keys and codes you're going to be gathering from any experience that you're having. And they will culminate in light if you allow yourself not to, you know, sort of repress. Rather than repress, express. Try to express through love, through light. And the best example of this I can think in the moment is, art, music, or visual art. People take the myriad of life experiences from positive to negative, and they transmute it into light through creating art, by expressing it in profound and healthy ways. And so, this is our goal, because it says that we appreciate the lessons and the challenges that come to us just as much as we appreciate the sort of retreats of joy and celebratory occasion that life offers us. So yes, life has challenges, lessons, and retreats, challenges and celebratory moments. But they all have codes and keys to the greater collective of our humanity. So it says, align with the highest and go with the flow. In this way, don't fight where you are. Don't fight against it, but seek to understand the purpose that has brought you to this moment. If it's a challenge, what lesson am I to walk away with? What enlightenment am I going to carry with me, and eventually express into, they write in front of me again, some kind of language of expression that will be healing for me and others. If I'm going through a celebratory moment, if I'm in a retreat phase of my life, right in this moment, what purpose is in it for me and for others? What purpose is being served here? And you never know, when you're always carrying the light with you, no matter how dark or how bright the occasion is. You're always. But we never know that by being there, what we are providing, not only for ourselves, on a soul level, but for others that might be watching or observing or happen to glance upon and need to see light working in the dark, and light working in the retreat of, a brilliant sunrise. All right, so let's take a look at it basically, all life has meaning. As much as we do complain, and that's our right to do, but it still all has meaning. And we usually eventually happen to come upon that understanding. What we can do now for ourselves is to actively start engaging in that understanding as soon as it's appropriate. And set that intentionally. So we have the Star card. And this is giving us a sense of an energy of renewal, of restoration, of healing in this month. And there's that word faith again. That word faith. So this comes no matter where you are, whether you're light working in the shadows of your life, or if you're light working in the retreat, or sort of somerset of your life, there is being poured in through the universe energies to bring restoration, regeneration, and fulfillment. You might be either called to be a part of that, either way you are. And that's hard for us to understand when we feel broken in our grief and in our despair. But I've found, especially by doing these readings consistently, and is why even though my voice and everything that happened to me recently with the bronchitis and the walking pneumonia, I did not want anything in my life to ever break the continuity of doing especially the weekly readings, especially, and even my daily card readings, which I haven't been able to really resume in the way that I would like to. But the thing is, it was through this process of doing this that, my life, I was writing these very profound, healing, and inspiring messages, but my life has not been that all through those times. There have been really incredibly dark stories of my life to tell. But in doing this practice and even having readings with clients during those moments, I learned something, not right away, but I was actually doing it, but I just didn't see it. I learned just how valuable my life, all of it, has been, just like it is true for you. All of our lives are valuable, invaluable, priceless treasures, no matter where we are in our journey, and that we have an inexhaustible resource of strength, of light, power, of brilliance, like a star. It never goes out. It's always there to provide you with guidance and messages and clarity and empowerment and inspiration, but also there as a teacher, a great giver of life to others in all of those moments. I don't know why they just wrote stargaze. I don't know what that's referring to. I don't know if something might happen in the celestial alignments or something, or that you might see something if you stargaze, or if it's just some sort of, metaphorical or astrological message. But it's this idea that the stars are always shining bright, or always shining, and the star within you, the star of the universe, the star of the source, the star of light, illumination, and wisdom, clarity, joy, and deep sorrow, is always shining within you. So never give up on your faith, on your light, even when your light is encroached upon by our own egos. All right, let's take a look at the card and so we have a lot of water here. All right, just highlights that the emotion. I'm going to say not just the emotional intensity, but the emotional. It feels like there are possibilities. Possibilities it's sort of feels like a free market, doesn't it? Just it can go in any direction. But what I like about the feeling of the word, as I said in this context, is that it feels like everything is opening up for you. and for the world collectively. And we can go in any direction right now. And that's why it's so important for us to deliberately choose, what we want, to choose to highlight. And they wrote this word earlier, but I can't remember the word that they wrote before it. To highlight the highest good in all that we've learned, not in all that we've suffered, but in what we've learned from what we've suffered, so that we can come together and start really enjoying the retreat from the millennial or the long era of time that we've been in deep suffering and challenges collectively. We have an opportunity to really bring that peace on earth, heaven on earth, that retreat on earth experience to our lives. We have an opportunity to really celebrate triumphing over our own personal and collective shadows and start enjoying. Again, I feel like this feels like my grandmother, but I can't see her face, but I see a heart and I see a shell. Not this shaped shell, but the other one that, you could, almost the horn-shaped one. And I feel like, as I was talking about this, that shell could almost make a sound, right? Like a boop, like a heralding of something good to come. In the era of love and the era of freedom, she writes, we're on the brink of a new era of love and freedom, and we get to call it in. And I'm just drawing back to the angel number 62. Keep believing that the details of your life are working out in miraculous ways. I felt like it was not just personal, but collective, this message. Your faith opens the door for miracles. Right now, people are going to want to focus on the negative. And this causes us to, and I think this is what the struggle is, this causes us to sort of be, apathetic or indifferent, and it makes us want to just like say, okay, well, what's the use of trying? I'm just going to sit back and whatever happens will happen. That phrase, it is what it is. This is a time for us not to speak in this way about anything happening in the world, and especially about our own lives. It is not what it is. It is what you want it to be. It is what you make it. Remember, my grandmother used to say, take what you got and make what you want. And we're the world, we have an opportunity to do that very thing. Take what we have and make it what we want it to be. And that means acceptance, but it also recognizes this is what it has been this way, but we can make it this way. And don't worry about what other people are doing, because that'll just really distract you and just distress you and make you kind of get like this. Just know that the power of you is so extraordinary that if you do what you feel needs to be done, if you enact the solutions, even if it feels very tiny, but the thing about it is that when one of us chooses to act upon something that we believe is right for the greater good of all, the collective, that is a potent ingredient thrown into the cauldron of our collective success. And just taking that action puts it in the pot, in the cauldron. It gets mixed in with the collective, and everyone will start to reap, be nurtured by it, because that's energy. Energy is not slow like, you know, material matter. Energy is instantaneous. And so just know when you're prone to believe in the outer experience, the material experience, and you see how slow things take to happen, that's only because everybody believes that and is focused on the physical matter and reality, and does not, and forgets the power of their energy to spark change from your tiny little corner of the world. But your tiny little corner, that's a perception, because energetically you're not tiny. No one is. It's especially in the sense of having influence over matter. We just forgotten. And so before you think that I can't move the needle, my vote or my whatever, my opinions, my desires, they're not powerful enough to move the needle. Remember that you are light. You are the source of light first and foremost. And that light is everywhere. That intelligence is everywhere simultaneously. And it only needs one of us to ask for anything that we need. The more that ask, the better. But it only needs one of us to ask at any given time on this journey of life, on this planet, in this part of the universe, and it will be granted immediately. The company of heaven, masters and souls liberated, go to work to orchestrate that, because one soul of their own free will demanded and asked and requested, and it must be fulfilled. You can be privileged to be a part of that experience if you do not give up your faith and your inner peace, they write. So they write feel, and I was thinking of the word flow. Let your feelings keep flowing. Don't stagnate them. Create like a little, what is it, the beavers build, don't build a dam around your emotions. Let them keep flowing, and you keep flowing with your faith and your heart. And your feelings will heal, the damaged feelings, they will heal as you keep flowing with your heart, with the love experiences. Just like the things that I've been through, I kept flowing with the readings, because that's where my lifeline was, just so easily positioned. And as I keep flowing with it, things that come up, they eventually heal. And my capacity grew and grew and grew in understanding and acceptance, till eventually I was able to be a great recipient of the majority of that. And that's what I mean. Just keep believing. Keep taking action on what you feel called to do, and what allows you to feel your most authentic self. And it will reward you, and you will see the manifestations of your attempts have an influence and you didn't speak. You just prayed and you believed. All right, so I wish you a beautiful month of November, a beautiful month of healing and restoration and regeneration and inspiration. God bless you, and angel blessings.